large companies can't make any money telling us to do that, to be more
Yep.
healthy.
Mhm.
So why would they put their marketing dollars on that? S
Exactly.
oh,
Exactly. No, they are way more profitable when we're not well. So
right. Yeah. It's not, healthcare, it's sick care,
Exactly.
too oftentimes, and we need to start by being our own boss of our own health
Yeah.
and manage what we can manage. Welcome to the Fountain of Vitality podcast. I'm your host, LaMont Leavitt. In a world overflowing with noise, confusion, and distraction, we're here to cut through the clutter and explore bold, unique paths to a longer, healthier, and more vibrant life. Through candid conversations with business leaders, wellness experts, industry pioneers, and innovators, we'll uncover insights to help you discover your own personalized, unique approach to thriving. Tune in, trust the compass of wisdom within, and find your fountain of vitality. Hello, my name is Lamont Levitt, and welcome today to the Fountain of Vitality podcast. We're thrilled today to have with us Michelle Fletcher. She's the founder and CEO of the Holistic Business Network. And we're looking forward to hearing more from her today and what's going on. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, tell us a little bit about you and your story about how you got to where you're at today and kind of your journey. I'd love to hear
Okay.
that.
So yes, my background, funny enough, is in IT. I worked in corporate for over 10 years as a data analyst, data management. Um, but I've always had a passion for health and wellness. Um, I played soccer in high school. In college, I got really into like working out. That was my stress relief. Um, After college, I helped people learn how to use the machines at the gym. I just like became this personal trainer. I didn't have certification, but was
Yeah.
really teaching people how to do what I was doing to stay healthy. Um, and then that was just a part of my lifestyle. I was still in corporate. And then I lost my job in 2009, and I had 2 little ones, and I was trying to decide, what am I gonna do next? Am I gonna go back into the IT world, or am I gonna pursue something I really love, which was personal training was something I loved. But at the same time, I met this woman in the parking lot at my gym, ironically, of course, it would be there, but our kids were playing together, and we were talking, and she talked about nutrition, plant-based nutrition, and how she uses this supplement. And I was like, what is that? Because when she said the name of it, I knew it from my kid's holistic pediatrician's office. He had it all over his office, sharing that as like a tool for parents. And so I was just like, can you tell me more about that? And that day on, I was so intrigued with this component of health that I just had put to the side. I wasn't aware of how important it was to consume more plant nutrition. And so I partnered with this network marketing company that shared a solution to consuming more plant foods. And I was just like gung ho. I saw what it had done for my son, who was always sick. Within 2 months, his health like changed. He was only 14 months at the time. My dad, who was a diabetic, his health was changed and he was insulin dependent. So it was just, I was changing a lot of lives. And over the course of like 9 years, I had helped like thousands of people change their health. So that was the beginning of really my health journey. But what happened was the pandemic. The pandemic
Yeah.
happened, and that shifted my mindset because I had been growing a team of people that were also replicating what I was doing, and they were sharing the message of better health with plant nutrition. But then when the pandemic happened, I had a shift. I was just like, I started learning about so many other modalities of health from my partnership with this company. I had been using acupuncture and chiropractic and natural deodorant and natural toothpaste, and I just have incorporated so many modalities of health.
Components. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just down the rabbit hole of all things health. So when the pandemic happened and I was listening to the news, which I don't do often, but whenever I was listening, I was just like, why are they not talking about these natural ways to improve your health? Like going outside and being in the sun, like, you know, taking something that can help your body, be more resistant to anything that would come its way. Like there were so many aspects of health that I was just like, they're not talking about these things. And that's when I just really got on my high horse and said, I am going to start spotlighting other businesses that I know bring a lot of value to people's health outside of what I do, that what I share with people might be one door that people walk through, but I want them to see there's so many avenues they can walk into to get better health. And so that's how I transitioned from really promoting my nutritional products to now spotlighting other businesses. I started having events. In the midst of the pandemic, I was just like, whoever's brave enough to come together in 2021, I'm doing this. And if you want to learn, you'll be in a room. And so in September of 2021, I had my first event called the Holistic Health and Wellness Networking event. And that was bringing a spotlight to a number of health and wellness practitioners and businesses that people could learn could probably change their health in some way.
Isn't that interesting how a pandemic caused an idealistic switch in your mindset of, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to sit under a rock and live fearfully, or get a good word out there? Fantastic. That's great. That's great.
That's just
Well,
a part of who I am. I'm always like, I'm a fighter. So once I feel there's injustice or people don't know something that could help them, I just like I feel like I need to let people know, no, these things exist or there's something that can help you. So that's a gift, I guess. It can be, yeah, most of
yeah.
the time it's a gift.
Well, you're modeling the same thing my dad taught me, is of spend your time in life going about helping people, and make the money secondary in life, and you'll have a better life and more enjoyable life.
Yeah.
The money will follow,
Mhm.
as long as your focus is on people and making their lives better and making as many people better than you can,
Mhm.
and you're in a good space for what your soul is, and what you harbor moving forward. I think it's great. I think it's great.
Thank you. I love that confirmation. That's so good from your dad.
Yeah, yeah, that was his model too. That was his model too in life, and not to overwork, how to make money. Don't chase money, chase helping people.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's great. Well, tell me, in this holistic business model, I mean, you've talked about your son and your dad with prediabetes. Isn't it fun to watch someone actually get better by getting, we are what we eat, getting the right nutrients in our body,
Yeah.
and getting rid of the stuff that doesn't really help us. Uh,
It is so rewarding to watch that, like, especially, if it's your own child that you're seeing has all these issues and they're struggling at night to sleep because they can't breathe properly, and there's just all these underlying issues that they're just like, "Oh, they're gonna outgrow them," and then you see a shift in, like, 2 months because you added something that just was the missing component or one of those missing components they needed for their body. So it has been super rewarding. And those are the things that really light me up, is seeing people's health transform. And I think that's why I've become such a huge advocate for not being the only door that people can walk through to be helped with their health, but really allowing people to see there's so many ways that they can be helped, whether it's through me or a practitioner or another service or another product. I just want them to know that there's solutions and they don't have to suffer. So I just want a lot of people to be healed because there's way too many people suffering. It's too many of us
yeah.
suffering unnecessarily.
I heard, had a holistic doctor tell me once, the best thing if you're having all kinds of health complications, start by getting the right input in your body with foods and clean diet, and then figure out what's left, because we all have these inherent weaknesses of things that are going to be a problem. Let's start by getting the diet right, getting the health right, get the right vitamins in your body. Then you can figure out what the rest of it you need to work on, and then you can work on those
Yeah.
things. Then you're not just chasing down a whole bunch of symptoms that are very simple to iron out.
Hmm.
Uh,
Great advice because that's foundational. And that's what I
yeah,
tell people, start with the foundation. So I totally agree with that functional
Yeah.
medicine doctor. He's definitely 100% correct. I learn from
Yeah.
people like him.
Yeah, and well, and I can tell you, without the whole health business, one of the biggest challenges I think is us. We have to kind of become our own sovereign of our own health. We have to decide, I'm going to be healthy, and I got to. You have to have the discipline to say, I'm not going to eat the garbage. I'm going to get the right amount of sleep, all the things that are appropriate, and then you'll be better off. But you gotta that discipline needs to come from yourself. It's your
Yeah.
health. You got one shot at your body to make it as healthy as you can.
So good, Lamont. Yes, absolutely. And that, some people they need help getting there, but once they make that decision, oh, it can be life changing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, how do you work with someone that maybe they're good for 3 or 4 days and then they slip? How do you get when you talk to people, how do you help them through them breaking the bad habits of putting bad food in their body?
So for me, I am very empathetic. I have empathy because we're human, right? And so when I used to coach people, and it's so funny because that's coming back on my radar a lot. A lot of people reaching out to me to coach them again.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I'm so busy helping other businesses. But for me, it's just understanding that sometimes we might make mistakes and there's a new day where you can start fresh. Like don't get stuck on, the mistake you made when a new day comes or, that time has passed. Now you can implement some better habits or put some things in more structured ways so that you won't slip. So there's a lot of meal prep that I suggest that they can do easy meal prep ideas that they can implement that can make it easier to not make the mistake when you're super hungry to reach for the wrong thing. You can have something very healthy at your disposal. So there's like little things that I help them through. And I don't like for people to feel guilty about those things because it happens. But over time, everything takes time. It's not an overnight process. Over
right.
time, you'll get better and better, and you'll realize, like, 6 months from now that you're doing way better than you were 6 months before.
Yeah, and be okay with the improvement and don't
Yeah,
beat yourself up if you slip a little bit. Um,
exactly.
you really can't. One of the, things I've seen people do that struggle with low blood sugar, where they're like, "Ah, I gotta eat something right now," and they go to the pantry and just start pulling out chips and whatever the carbs that immediately fuel not dipping. And one of the things I've seen work really well is if you pre-cut a whole bunch of cauliflower and broccoli and vegetables and the little snap peas, and it's
Yeah,
all right in your fridge with your favorite healthy dip to go with it, and you're pulling that out instead, and then you get your blood sugar back up with real food.
but
I think is
yes.
a great approach instead of don't because you don't even want to put the time into preparing it, but if you pre-cut it, pre-set up for that crash, you're so much better off.
Exactly. Oh, you're a pro. No, that is fantastic advice. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Having it easily at your fingertips is what helps you, like, bypass making a bad decision. So, yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
Mhm.
And that's a trick I've seen people do. Uh, as you almost have to trick yourself, as you reteach yourself how to have a good diet.
Yeah, it's so funny. I call them, life hacks. Like, there's so
Yeah.
many little life hacks that you can do to just, like, make it easier for your brain to make a better decision. Because that's all it is. Sometimes we want quick and easy, so if we make being something healthy quick and easy, then it's a life hack. It's
Yeah.
and better
Yeah.
for you. Yeah.
And you mentioned, getting out in the sun, the vitamin D, the natural stuff that comes.
Ah,
It's real thing, and then getting out, with, shoes that will or even bare feet and to be grounded. You
yeah.
need to have the right amount of grounding in your life, and too often
Mhm.
we aren't grounded enough. Most people walk around most day in rubber-soled shoes, and
Yeah.
the grounding's not happening.
I mean, we're so far removed from the things that, like, God intended for us. It's crazy, just
Yeah.
and it's so simple. It's almost so simple that people don't even realize they should do it because putting your feet in the grass today sounds crazy. Why would I have my shoes off? But no, that's like your battery being loaded up just from
Yeah.
being in contact with the ground. It's incredible. So, yeah, all these things are so foundational and things that were practiced before we had technology and all the things, this was how people lived. And so
Yeah.
now it's so funny we're coming back full circle to how things were like over 100 years ago, right?
Right, right. And a lot of these things, these basic life hacks, you and I both know that, the large companies can't make any money telling us to do that, to be more
Yep.
healthy. So
Mhm.
why would they put their marketing dollars on that? S
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. No, they are way more profitable when we're not well. So
right. Yeah. It's not, healthcare, it's sick care,
exactly.
too oftentimes, and we need to start by being our own boss of our own health
Yeah,
and manage what we can manage. So
absolutely. Yep.
well, I'd love to hear another a couple of stories from you on just your holistic business network as you've met new people from different states and making them feel supported, knowing it's not just them beating that drum, but you guys are working together to support each other. Love to hear some thoughts on that.
So it's been this is very fulfilling too because I have so many people that there's doctors that were in traditional like American practice, like internal medicine doctors that are now gravitating and going into functional medicine. Several doctors actually that are a part of the network were traditional what they consider traditional medicine, right? And now have gravitated into more of an integrative or functional medicine practice because of their own challenges. So it's so cool to hear that these medical practitioners have had their own experiences where they're like, you know what? The system that I'm currently in is not working for me. I'm going to go and learn about other ways I can help myself heal. And then they get healed and now they're passing it on to their patients. So now they're switching up what they're doing in their practices. So it's been really cool to be a part of that and to watch the journey because they're learning as they go. Like they're super intelligent people already, but now they're learning something totally new and I can help guide them. I can be a huge resource because I've just been in this world for 15 years and worked with a lot of practitioners already. So it's really cool being a resource for someone like, a doctor and, them just being humble enough to understand that they're learning and growing at the same time. So I have practitioners, but then I also have people in business that I have like someone right now, she just started a healthy protein bar company. And so guiding her through, and she's a doctor, a professor, like a researcher. So she has her
Uh-huh.
doctorate and in international business. And so she's a part of the network and just learning, things that she didn't learn in the classroom as someone who's researched and had to do dissertations and all of that. And now starting her own business, there's still so much that she needs to know and that I'm helping to guide her and walk her through. When it comes to like having your own business and how to market yourself and how to be connected to something bigger than yourself so that you can seem bigger right from the beginning. Like, so you're not just growing slowly. Because a lot of what I share and a lot of what I help the people in my network with is not to make the mistakes I made when I was building a business, because it took me 9 years to get to the top leadership position in my network marketing company. 9 years. And I did everything. I did I did tons of events that I hosted. I went around the country and spoke all over. I spoke at churches and corporate offices. I even traveled outside of the country multiple times and spoke abroad, sharing this message and then branding myself, being at all these trade shows and knowing how to market myself. And so a lot of what I do is I help to shorten the mistakes I made for them. Like these are the things that if you implement this now, you can move even faster in what you're creating and what you've built. So, those are the things I do to really help my members, and I create various platforms to really lift them up in the message that they have because too many of them are the best kept secret. They're just the best kept secret, and I can see like what they offer is amazing. It's just enough people do not know that they exist, and they don't know how to get that message out there in the best way.
Yeah, messaging is challenging, and sometimes your best holistic people they're technologists in their trade. They know
Yes.
their stuff, and they really are super intelligent, but they have never been in a role where they've had to deliver that message or not uncomfortable being in a message delivery position. And you can strengthen and help those people be their best self as they continue to grow. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm
Thank
sure you
you.
see a ton of those kind of people, and I have too, in whether it's in business or with, healthcare or, technology companies. We've
Yeah.
all got our skills, and there's some that are they're all hat and no cattle too, where they're up there saying, I'm all that," uh,
Yes.
and then as you get to know better what they're delivering, you're like, "Well, there's nothing here." So you got both ends of the spectrum. Uh,
Exactly. You're so right about that, Lamont. Oh my gosh. Some of the best, people that will promote the things they're doing may not be the best fit, but then there's the ones that you don't hear anything about, and you're like, "Wow, what you're doing is amazing. More people need to know about you." So, it's I now have a really good gauge on who's all fluff and who's really impactful, and so
yeah.
I really gravitate to the ones that are having the impact that people just may not have known are out there. And like I have someone when I first met her, she's a physical therapist, and she was leaving. She had left her traditional physical therapist job and had decided to start her own practice. But her practice was nothing like what she used to do. It was all based on it's actually all based on the nervous system. And so she had learned from a situation she had, a really just stressful divorce that she went through, how to regulate her nervous system using these practices that now she has. In the beginning, she didn't even know what to call herself. And when she described what she was doing, I said, "Oh, you're a holistic physical therapist." And she was like, she looked at me and then it stuck. And since then, she has called
Yeah,
herself.
that's me.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, she has grown so much. She's been a part of the network now for 4 years. She has grown so much in what she's doing. She's a podcast host. She has been on so many major stages because of the rooms I've created and the connections that I have to get her on these stages. And even I created a big platform last year. I had a huge week of wellness here in South Florida called South Florida Wellness Week. And she was one of our speakers at that event. So just to see the way that she has expanded and gotten the confidence in sharing what she does, and now her business is blooming, is just amazing. It's so amazing.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Oh, it's so fun to watch. What we were talking about earlier, I think the person that is very much out there can be a little bit fluff with no nothing, that's solid underneath.
Yeah.
I
No.
think those kind of people, when they can connect with someone who doesn't want to be that voice and be self-aware that they need some substance underneath, I think can be a great business once your business can grow past, one or two solopreneur type setups. I think that's fun to watch that kind of growth in a company.
It
So
is. It
anyway,
is.
well, I think it's great everything you're doing to help people in the holistic business network. Now, you mentioned you're in a number of states already, and you're continuing to grow. What are some of the states you're already in? And if someone maybe is a holistic in nature, wants to get with you about maybe starting a chapter in their state, um, yeah, how they can get a
Yeah.
hold of you as well.
So currently I'm based in Florida. So I'm in South Florida at that. So I'm in the hub of wellness right now. I'm in South.
Yeah,
Um, but I have events around the Tri-County area. So that includes Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and Palm Beach. And then I have another chapter in Orlando. Orlando's 3 hours away from where I am. And then I also have a chapter in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, chapter in DC. I guess you could say DC, Maryland, but mostly in DC because they're so close, that whole area. South Carolina. I was in California, so I'm looking for if anyone would love to start back up a chapter in California. And I was in Texas also. I'm trying to think where I'm missing. I'm missing somewhere. But definitely open to starting chapters in these areas. There's an event that I have that people absolutely love. I'm actually doing one next week. And it's our holistic business networking experience where it brings together other natural health and wellness practitioners and businesses. And a lot of times, people who are wanting to learn more about natural health and wellness b- practitioners or wanting to connect, they will come out and we do a portion that is speed networking. Everyone loves that. Is absolutely amazing. I have a little like educational piece that will be helpful for people that are in business. And then it's just a lot of connecting. And a lot of times I'm helping to match make people because I get to know everyone that comes into the rooms. And once I hear they do something, or if I already know someone that they would make a great connection with, I love to just connect those people and see the magic happen. I've had people that have not only just gotten clients out of this, but business partnerships, gotten opportunities to be on documentaries. Like I had someone that is now on an Amazon documentary because of the connections I had, people in the room. So it's just amazing, like
That's
the
great.
be in magazines, all these different opportunities. You just never know what will happen when you meet the right person. And it only takes one person to change, the
Change
direct.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if any of you want to get a hold of Michelle, her website is the Holistic Business Network. And you can check her out there. At the end of this podcast, there'll be other ways to connect with her on LinkedIn and other things as well. So we're happy to support you in that endeavor. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. This was great. Thank you, Lamont, for having me.
We'll catch you again soon. Take care. Thank you for tuning in to the Fountain of Vitality podcast. Head to fountainvitality.com for more episodes, insights, and resources. Remember, your health is yours to own. Take charge, focus on what you can control, and keep exploring what works for you. Always be your best self, lift others, and trust the compass of wisdom. Until next time, stay vibrant and take care.